Hello, everybody. Oreos in the Cornfield again. It's me, Naomi.
Jesse.
And Martin.
And today we also have a guest who is new. And what is your name and who are you?
Hello, I'm Mrs. Brawley. I am currently the assistant superintendent. Just kind of in January became officially that title.
Ooh. Sorry, that's really cool.
Yeah, so what makes up your curriculum?
So part of my job as the assistant superintendent is being, I guess, the curriculum director for our district. And so there's a lot of different things that go into curriculum at the schools. It's not just the materials or the books that you see, some behind me, all of the different things that go into it. So we have our standards that the state mandates us to make sure that we're following so that we can ensure that students are learning. And then you guys get to do all those fun tests at the end of the year to make sure that we're actually teaching what you need to learn throughout the whole school year. The teachers have scope and sequences that they share with each other. So if you have, let's say the same courses, so Algebra 1, there's multiple classes of Algebra 1. And so the teachers plan together. They make sure that each of their classes are learning the same things. They have the same materials, the same supplemental things, so that no matter what class that they go to, that the students would have the same opportunities to learn. And that's kind of what makes up all of that curriculum. The assessments that the teachers give, your scales that you use in class, that's all part of the curriculum and the things that we help them do from my building or from my perspective too.
What goes into like deciding what the students should be learning?
Yeah, so the state has state standards. Most of them are based on the Common Core standards that came out in 2010, 2011. And so we use those to follow to make sure that we're teaching what you guys need to be learning. We also have different courses that we offer for students at the high school that you guys have, put in, like what are you interested in learning about? And so we've implemented some of those classes too. So this would be one of them that came out in one of the surveys about media broadcasting that students were super interested in. So this is something that we were able to offer students, but we also can follow certain standards. So some of the things you guys do in this class are also in state standards. So listening and speaking is a huge part of the English language standards, and some of the other content areas too, like social studies and science. And so it's a really good opportunity to mesh a lot of those content areas or some of those standards into different, more, relevant classes. And so this would be something that, we would definitely continue to do, is have those surveys for students to make sure that you guys are getting classes that are relevant to you guys. And that kind of goes into some of the other things too for just the needs of students. So whatever students are needing, we try to offer those classes too. So if students are needing extra support in math or reading, we try to also offer those classes for students.
Sorry, I'm what am I trying to say? Like, how much time goes into like deciding like the different classes or curriculum? Like, how much time do you guys like put into that?
We do spend a lot of time on classes. We have different cycles that we have for each content area, and we also have different things that we have to make sure are completed for each one. So I talked about scope and sequence, and that really just kind of tells the teacher how long something should take to teach in a class, when it should be taught. So teachers are working on that in their PLCs. So PLCs are professional learning communities. And so each content area has a PLC, and teachers spend time during their day, during their plan, after school, working in the PLCs to develop the assessments, to develop the same materials that they're going to be using. They discuss, how well students are doing in their classrooms, what are some things they need to work on. So it's like a never-ending process. So it does take a lot of time, and we do have a lot of teachers as well that spend summer times working on developing curriculum or materials or classes, so that we can make sure we have everything we need for you guys.
That's cool.
So, and what kind of courses are you currently working for putting in our schools and like something new?
Yeah. So this year, or for the 25-26 school year coming up, we're working on a course proposal for computer science. And so in a couple years, the computer science class will be required graduation credit for students in Michigan. And so we're implementing that course next year. And so we're working on a course proposal to provide to the board, who then will approve or deny this course for students. And then really that course is going to be talking about coding and using different forms of technology. And it really is one of the high demand jobs right now. And so having an offering in school that can, be relevant when you're done with school is really important. And so we're working on right now that course proposal. And then once we get the surveys and look at courses that are going to be offered next year at the high school specifically, we'll be able to see, okay, this course needs to be offered. Maybe this one, not so much. There's not so much interest in it. But any new courses, we go through this process and then it's approved by the board.
Oh, how do like different districts differ in like courses? Like, say like one district has like more options than another one in terms of like how far they can go with science or how far they can go with math. Like,
yeah, that's a good question. So the courses are up to the district. And so depending on what has been approved in the past or what they've been offering, staffing, students, the amount of students that are interested in a course, that really goes into deciding on which courses we're going to have. And so if there's a high interest in something in our area that may not be interested in another school, they're probably going to have different offerings than that. So I think we have a lot of options at Niles for students. And if there isn't something that is available that students want, I do feel like there's an opportunity for students to voice that and then move forward with developing a plan to propose that course. But for the most part in Michigan, it's up to the schools and the district what they want to offer.
Right. And I know that a lot of school, like at least our school does like kind of like connects to other schools. So like if we want to take one course, they'll give us time out of our day to go to that school, take that course for a couple hours, still get our regular credits and come back.
Yes. And so that's a great offering that we have for some of our CTE courses. So if we don't have, let's say, welding in our building, we can offer that from another school and they can go there. We have fire science also available. It's not here, but they can go there and do it. So there's a lot of different opportunities, especially in the career paths now that maybe weren't available a few years ago that we have now for our students. So that's to me is super exciting.
Oh
yeah. So, and this is a question I've had for like a long time, is like, why don't we get like taught taxes? Is like there a certain reason or like a certain requirement as to why that's not like being brought up, or
No, that's a great question. So we actually offer a personal finance class in Niles, and so right now it's an elective class, and so not everybody has to take it.
Right.
And so sometimes when you get to your senior year and you you have a senior math, maybe that's not the one you want to take. So that is offered, but starting with our freshmen, it's actually now a state requirement for all students to have personal finance. And so now everybody will have the opportunity to learn, and that's a unit in the personal finance classes and about taxes. But we also have our economics class, or econ, which also has kind of a wider learning on taxes, like why they started and where they came from and how different governments use taxes. But the personal finance is really the one that would help you to learn how to do your taxes and kind of be prepared for that time when, you have your W-2s and you have all those forms that you have to fill out, you don't know what to do with. That will kind of give you more hands-on application for the taxes.
Okay, I have a question. What is your least favorite part of your job?
My least favorite part of my job. Well, I was in the classroom for 16 years before moving into like a central office role. I miss the classroom. I miss not being like in the day-to-day with the students. And so in the, in the office job, there's a lot more, paperwork and some other things that come with it that I guess you don't really know about until you're in the job. So I think that part is probably my least favorite part of the job, is not being able to be able to experience things with the students like I did when I was teaching. So I miss out on events that I would normally have gone to and been part of that, sometimes I don't get to do anymore.
Right. If you could switch your career, would you go back and do it, or why would you not?
I always wanted to be a teacher since I was little. I come from a large family, and that was just something, I don't know if that was, I would play teacher at home, and it's just something I always wanted to do. So I never really thought of a different career path. But later in life, I think it's very fascinating. American Sign Language is super fascinating to me, and I would love to go and, be an interpreter at, when they're giving large speeches somewhere, and be the one helping other people know what they're saying in those ways. So that to me would be super fascinating if I ever chose a different career path.
That is really cool. I used to know the whole alphabet.
Yeah.
And then
awesome.
I don't know it anymore, but I did.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you another question. I forgot what it was. Give me a couple minutes to load. You guys have another question while I think of it?
So I'm guessing there's a thing called home EC by chance?
Home ec.
Oh, home ec. See, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay. Well, what happened to it, and why is it not maybe here anymore?
Yeah. So when I went to school, we had home economics, and it was so that class you learned how to cook and sew, and you learned some personal finance things were in there as well. And then when the Common Core standards came out in 2010, 2011, that is when schools started to kind of change philosophies on what courses they were going to have. And so home ec kind of got, pushed out of the way. Wood shop got taken out. A lot of the CT courses that are coming back now were taken out of schools. The focus was more on college and not necessarily a career or trades. And so that was more of the push. And so schools wanted to be part of that and make sure that they were doing what was mandated. And so that's kind of one of the reasons. Now they're kind of, home ec is kind of in different names in things that consumer math, or sometimes in health classes, you learn a little bit about some of the things that they would have done in home economics. But that would be one of the reasons why it went away. And so now it's kind of resurfacing in different areas, not necessarily all in one class.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, I was always curious about that, because growing up I would watch movies, and they would have home ec in the movies. So I was I want to do home ec when I get in high school. And then I get into high school and we don't have home ec, and I'm what?
Yeah, so now you would go to take culinary or something to learn how to cook.
Yeah, I'm in culinary now.
Yeah, awesome.
I remember what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something about the taxes and econ. I was gonna ask why do we take it freshman and sophomore year instead of junior senior? I just feel it'd be easier for students to retain the information once they're more matured and kind of in the situation where they need it.
Yeah, that makes sense. The sequence of classes that you take, it would probably be more meaningful to a junior or senior who's maybe working and have the taxes that come to them at the end of the year that they have to do. So I'm not sure about the course sequence and why each district can choose how they want their sequence to go. And so when I came here, that's the sequence that was here. I'm not exactly sure why it was chosen that way, but it's definitely something we can look into. Some of it has to do with state testing and things that have to be known before you take that your junior year. And so there are things that are on that test that, you would learn in econ and civics that they would want you to know for that test too.
Yeah, because when I was in econ and civics, I took it at the same time.
Okay.
Because I was in New Tech, so I took Civ Lit.
Oh, yeah.
So it was civics and literature, but they were in two separate classrooms because of how things were set up. But I was just I don't know what any of this means, so I'm not going to pay attention. And I didn't. And now I don't know anything. And I'm like, man, I wish I would have paid attention.
Yeah, and so now you have to relearn it. And even as adults, is even though you have to do it every single year, it's still something that you're like, okay, I know I've done this before. I have to go back and look and say, okay, how did I do this before? And kind of relearn it every year, too, because it is a difficult process to go to, but maybe that's something now that we have personal finance that they have to take, that students have to learn and do maybe their senior year would be the best option to take it then.
Yeah. Yeah. And what are some of your favorite things that you like?
Besides my job. So I'm a mom and a wife, and I love spending time with my family. I come from a large family, so I love spending time with them. I love to read. Any chance I get, I like to read. I'm kind of, my kids say a nerd in that way, which is, I'm okay with. But I like to, go to sporting events and just be around. And, those are some of my favorite things to do.
You guys have some questions?
She's answered all mine on that. She's answered all mine, so I'm just
being a little quiet over there, Martin.
I mean, yeah, but like, I don't know. I don't know what to ask.
Do you have any questions that you want to like ask us?
Yeah. So if one of my goals in my job is to get student input, and to, I don't know if you call it like an student advisory or something, because you guys are the ones that we're servicing, and trying to make sure that you guys are getting the things that you need. Are there any reasons why you think students want to join something like that, or do you think students would be open to that and joining a student advisory at kind of a district level?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Most definitely. There's not a day I walk around here where someone's like, I wish we changed this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, you can tell somebody, but I can't promise that they're going to do anything at all. So, yeah, most definitely kids would be interested in that.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I would like to do. And, again, to get input and then to see the change come from the students' part is really, I think is important, too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, truly with the whole district thing, yeah, like she said, students, there's not a day that someone's like, I wish this would change, or this would change, or this would change. And it's like, if only like we could even, because I know like student council exists and all that with the whole like prom thing and everything like that, but I wish we had something.
Do a whole lot in student council though, because I'm in student council. I can say that. Like, I'll go in there and it's mostly just like, oh, we're having this event, you guys need to plan this.
Yeah, so you guys plan a lot of events and
they do like homecoming, parade, prom, like just like simple things. I mean, like the student council president and like treasurer and like those people, they do like actual stuff that like the rest of student council kind of doesn't like help out with as much.
Right.
But it's still kind of, they don't really make suggestions for the school, but like when they do, it's more like, well, this will take a couple years kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so I'm definitely looking into doing that and getting some students who would be interested in kind of providing some feedback on some things, or let me, just kind of give their point of view.
Yeah, it'll be a lot easier to make changes when you know what the kids want.
Yes.
Or need.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that all for you guys, or
more questions?
Any questions?
More questions, comments, sidebar, conversation.
I think we went over everything.
Do you have any more questions or anything you want to know?
No. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, of course. I was so excited. You were like our first choice.
Awesome.
And you accepted, so I was like, yes.
No, I'm very excited. It's fun.
Made me very happy. Are you excited for this prom season? You're a mom, right? Is your kids going to prom
season? Yep. So that's upon us and all the things that go with it. So it's good. Yeah. Prom season, graduation. The month of May is super busy.
Oh yeah.
I forgot.
Seniors leaving.
Yes.
I forget that every time. I forget that like I'm a senior myself, and I'm like, wait, I have a month. Oh gosh.
We have 19
So
days left.
exciting.
It's scary for me, honestly,
Yes.
because I never thought, like, as a freshman, I was like, oh, I want to leave school so bad, and then I'm like, wait, slow
Yeah.
down. Let's slow down a little bit, especially with all the stuff, because I didn't realize, like, when seniors, they don't really tell you, and I kind of wish that, like, seniors didn't really tell us, like, hey, you guys, like, it's gonna go by fast, and there's gonna be a lot of stuff that comes with it, because for me as a senior, there's stuff I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for all that, like with the senior photos and then like prom, and then you have like all the different like celebrations. I'm like, whoa.
Yes.
No one prepared me for this.
I mean, they
Shocking.
did say it was going to go really fast. They were like, it's
did.
going to go like,
It's
Yeah.
just like all the stuff that comes with it alone. That's what I wasn't prepared for. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I figured it was gonna go by fast, but like this stuff, it was
Yes.
just like, oh, that happens too. Okay.
Yes, lots to celebrate, lots of things to look forward to, and then you have the real world upon you.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
kind of feels like the real world sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Then I think that's all I have. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming
you.
for us today.
Thank you.
I know you're probably like always busy all the time.
Oh no, it's nothing. No, I appreciate it. Anytime to hang out at the school with the kids, I'm all about it. So
All right.
it's fun.
Perfect. I'm glad we could get you out of the office for a bit.
Yes.
Well.
I'm going to